Wednesday, August the 5th. Lake level's about 924 and a half. It's come down, close to a foot since the last report. They're still generating quite a bit of water, but beaver's still pretty high, so they've been dumping beaver into Table Rock. Seems like they've slowed the generation down about half of what it was a week ago, but we're still not gaining too much as far as the lake level going down. Water temperature, it had been in the high 80s up into the 90s, but today this little cold front came through last night, cooled the water down. It's about 87 degrees this morning. Now I think for the most part the fishing's gotten really tough. Seemed like from about Saturday things really started to change. We were catching a lot of numbers of fish out in that 18 to 22 foot, a lot on main lake points, out there, where the current points are. But it seemed like a lot of them fish out there now, we was catching them on a drop shot and a jig. Seemed like they've gone to bluegill, and it's been hard to find the bass. We've been fishing out deeper and deeper, having a hard time finding, any suspended. We are still catching some fish, but we're really having to work at them to catch them. The first hour is, there's still a good shallow bite up till about 8 o'clock, whether it be on like a half-ounce football jig. I've thrown a tube green pumpkin tube with a 1/4 ounce head up inside of it. There's several different things you can get bit on early. And most of these are main lake fish, and the majority of them are still smallmouths and Kentuckys. Now I'm still catching some fish on the swimming hornet and also the jewel, I think they call it the spinax. To me, they're both about the same. They got different head styles. The jewel bait seems to work a little better if you're reeling it real fast. It doesn't roll over where the swimming hornet will roll sometimes. But these have been working. If you're out there in like 25 foot, it seems like you see a lot of fish in that 12 to 15 foot. And I think a lot of them are bluegill, because when we've been drop shotting, as we're reeling up a lot of times, we've been catching some of them. But the drop shot fish I've been catching, a few. Normally this time of year, you get out in front of them deep docks, and where them cables are, they get a bunch of algae built up on them. The bait fish feed on the algae, and then the big fish hang out underneath them. Now normally you can get that pattern going, but it seems like I've got to fish 3 or 4 docks to catch a keeper, or close to a keeper. And instead of catching several off of one dock like we normally do. And it seems like a lot of the spots, whether I'm fishing docks or main lake points, with the exception of the morning, it seems like you can only get 1, maybe 2 bites a spot, then you got to go to another area. And the fish really aren't anywhere near grouped up like they were 2 weeks ago. So the next couple days, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go way on up the James River. We're going to fish a little bit different. We're going to get up in the brush. We're going to throw little square bills, spinnerbait some. I've been up there a little bit in the mid-James, and even that drop shot and spoon bite up in that area is slowed up for me. There's still a lot of fish out there. Seem like they've gotten a lot smaller. So what I'm going to do is just start working further up the river, Carolina rig, football jig, and get out in front of them bushes and even back up underneath some of the willow trees and see if we can't find some of these largemouth, because it seems like the last few days we're really beating our heads trying to catch these Kentuckys in the mid-lake areas. I think the river arms is where I'm going to keep for the next 2 or 3 days. But as far as the spoon that I've been catching them on the docks, I've been using a white. This is a War Eagle. It's a 7/8 ounce. And, any kind of 3/4 ounce spoon, even like the Dixie Jet will work. But what I've been doing is flipping it in the boat stalls, over and around the lift. It's kind of quite a bit of work, because most of the docks got boats in them. But you want to try to key on the docks, they've got 40 to 50 foot of water on them. And like I say, if you get a bite, it's usually only 1, maybe 2 fish per dock, where normally you might have to fish 3, 4, 5 docks, but once you found them, you really found them grouped up. Like I say, something has been going on in the last 4 or 5 days. The fish that were really grouped up are scattered, and they really seem, spotty, one here and one there. So, like I said, we're going to take the next 3-4 days and spend some time up in the river, see if we can't get a shallow pattern going. It looks like the next 4 or 5 days it's going to be a little cooler, and a lot of that, the water had been getting a lot hotter the last week or so, and the thermoclines starting to show up there about 20, 25 feet in some spots of the lake. Now, once that water slows down a little bit, that thermocline gets more defined, a little deeper, a lot of these Kentuckys should get grouped up over some of the deep timber and on these long gravel flat points. But right now they just really seem scattered. So hopefully I can find them in the next few days, and I'll have a better report for you next week. So until next week, good luck, good fishing.